Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of Fix Your BS, where we talk about your belief systems in 5 major pillars of life. Those major pillars are relationships, business or career, finances or money, health and faith or belief. And we try to interview the people that are playing at a high level in one or more of those areas. And like always, I have an amazing guest that I met while I was out on the road, and she really impressed me with her knowledge, but also just her success and accomplishments. So I wanted to bring her on, and maybe she can drop some knowledge about the business and finances. Definitely has some information there, but maybe even other areas as well. As you know, you never know where this will head or lead. But I'm going to introduce Miss Ellie Diop. She is a business and strategy coach and the founder and CEO of Ellie Talks Money and Elevated Academy. I love the play on words on that. Ellie took her $1,200 stimulus check to start a business that she turned into a multi-million-dollar company in less than 1 year before turning 30 years old. She has served over 50,000 students and is committed to assisting women to build successful businesses so they can live the life of their dreams. Yes, live the life of their dreams. I love it. Ellie has built a community of over 500,000 people and helped her students secure over $7 million in business funding. Ellie has been recognized as one of the 25 most influential new voices of money by Next Advisor and a top 100 most influential African-American by The Root. She has shared her business success story and expertise in several media outlets, including Fortune Magazine, Entrepreneur, Newsweek, Fox Business, Business Insider, Next Advisor, Bloomberg Inc., to name a few. You might have heard of some of those different organizations. Without further ado, Miss Ellie Diop, thank you for being on the Fix Your BS podcast.
I am so excited to be here. I'm so glad that we met when we did. It's just perfect alignment. So thank you for having me.
Everything happens like it's supposed to happen. And I just love that when you get up to what I call the next level, you struggle, you learn, you focus on doing the things that you need to do to get to that next level. And whatever that level is for an individual, it just always needs to be pushed to the next level. And you always meet some amazing people at each level that you get to, and you're like, oh man, I love that we're vibrating at the same vibrational state.
Yeah.
But I always try to give some really technical things that people can apply in their lives. And, when we're talking about money, everybody needs money. And I have found the more students I work with, the more people I have in my groups, the more I learn that people don't know about money.
It's so true. And it's, it's crazy because, right. I'm like, we all use money. We all, need money, right? And the knowledge around how to earn more money is so scarce. A lot of people just don't know. I think, they feel as though the only way to make money is to get a job. And again, jobs are great. We've all had a job. I had a job. But one thing I always tell my community and my students is that you're in a position where a job is paying you for your skills. So those same skills, those things you know how to do, someone outside of your job will also pay you for that. The number one way to start a business is to look at, what do I already know how to do? What am I already good at? And how can I monetize it and make additional money? So that's been a key for me and for my students as well.
That's awesome. So what do you think it is? Well, first of all, I like to ask all my guests this one question. And that question is, what is success to you? How would you define that?
That's such a great question. I definitely think for me, success means time. Success means being able to have the time to spend with my children. I'm a mother of 4. The time to spend with my husband, the time to really, really talk to them and educate them on what to expect in life. I think that it's easy to attach success to a monetary number or to material things. But when I really think about it, now that I've made money, I have material things, I realize, what? All those things are nice, but real success is knowing that you can spend a full 24 hours with your family and never have to think about how you're going to pay your bills, right? Never have to think about, well, I don't know where, this money is going to come from. That is real success.
And it's interesting because most of the successful people, if not all, the ones that I've met that are financially successful, say a very similar thing. They're like, money was the goal in the beginning, but really it wasn't the money. It was the freedom that money buys you. It's the freedom of, well, I get to do this work instead of have to do this work. Now, what's interesting about that, there are times that you have to do work in order to be able to get to do the work. And every wealthy individual I've met worked harder than when they had to work. They just enjoy it. It's fun. It's a game. So as far as money goes, what are some things that people can do to get the right habits and get the right momentum with money in order to get to that place?
Yeah, that's so good. I definitely think that money it's energy, right? And what I mean by that is the habits you build around money and even your thoughts around money change how much money you have, right? A lot of us have a lack mentality around money, right? We think there's never enough. I don't have it. It's never going to come. And so that actually ends up happening because you think there's never enough, then there never is. Because you think it's never going to come, then it never does. So one of the first steps that I took and that I recommend people take is to, number one, change your mindset around money. Let's watch the things we say. So I just taught a class where I told them, you're not allowed from this day forward to say, I can't afford it. Because you're literally putting, a proclamation over your money journey. If you say, I can't afford it, that's exactly what will happen. You won't be able to afford the things that you want. So instead, let's shift to how can I afford it? Now money becomes a possibility. Now we can look at, okay, so it's not in my budget at this moment, but how can it be? I think a second great tip is to shift what we think is expensive. About 6 months ago, I decided to stop saying that things are expensive and instead they're expansive. So now when there's something that I want, if it feels, expansive, that's what I'll say it is instead, because then it changes and we don't see money as something that I can't have what I want. You just might have to expand a little bit in order to get it. And I think a real practical thing people can start doing now is investing, honestly. When our money is sitting in our bank accounts, unfortunately, it's doing nothing for us. It's not making any money. It's not growing. It's not appreciating. But taking some of the money that you have and putting it even into some stocks, even buying, something as small as a vending machine, now you're making money without working for it. And then this really changes your ability to do more in the future because you've created another stream of income.
Yeah, one of the things I teach my students about money all the time is first invest in yourself for sure. Invest in your skills. That you can't take those things away. You invest in yourself, invest in your skills. You'll start to experience some things that will help you learn from experience, not just from a book or an idea. Because every time that you hear something, oh, you should invest into this. Well, if you don't understand it, it's going to be pretty scary and also very risky. So understanding it is the first and foremost, best thing to do. And then from there, it's like, okay, then you know the risks and you can take that money and deploy it. Now, what about, when people go to invest, have you run into this where people are afraid of losing their money? What do you think that's all about? And what would you tell somebody like that?
That's such a real emotion, right? And I think it comes to people are afraid to invest in themselves. They're afraid to invest in, actual assets like real estate or like the stock market. And it goes back to that lack mindset around money. I think first thing, people have to realize that whatever you invest in, everything has some degree of risk, right? Whether it's real estate, whether it's the stock market, that's just a part of life. But when we think about investing in ourselves, right, we should never be afraid that it won't work because an investment in you determine how much of a return you get on that investment, right? If I invest $1,000 to work with a coach and get new skills, that is money that's always going to be in me that I can choose to use at any single point to get that return on investment. So I also think that if we go into something with the mindset of I'm going to lose this money, you're probably going to lose some money. We have to almost have a little bit of optimism. And that doesn't mean to just do anything crazy with your money, but recognize that there's a little bit of risk in everything. But if you can, make a good decision, really align with the right people, and then if it's an investment in yourself, really use what you invested in, you're going to see a return. Like, you will see a return.
And what's interesting is that we always talk about in my groups as well, or if I'm coaching young people, like, there is no negative return. You're either going to win or you're going to learn, one of the two. And so if you invest into something and you go, man, I really didn't get what I thought I was going to get out of that, you have two options at that moment. You can be upset or frustrated that you didn't get what you expected to get out of it. Or you can take that and say, well, what did I expect and why didn't it fulfill that need? And what else is out there that might fulfill that need? But there's always something to gain. You can learn from your experience or somebody else's experience. So, try to go to an event or go to buy a program, purchase a program. First of all, you have to take action on that program. I can't tell you how many people, we have thousands of people that have downloaded my free program. And I guarantee you too. We have thousands of people that have bought a $47 product from us that never log in or open the books. And we see you. We can see whether you click on those things or not. I see you. If you're not clicking on it, you missed a valuable opportunity to learn or improve your skills. Or and anyway, so it drives me crazy because you have to take the action. So what are some simple actions that, let's say somebody is, I look at things in like 3 levels. There's people barely getting by. There's people that are kind of in the middle where they're like, I'm making a little extra money that I'm spending, but don't really know what to do. And then there's the people that have this huge gap. They're like, I got all this money and I don't know what to do with it. I mean, so let's start with the basic. People that are just barely getting by. What would you suggest the first step is?
Wow. I would definitely say the first step there, if these, the people that are just getting by, if you have a 9-to-5, first thing I recommend is to start a business, start a side hustle, right? Form an LLC, start a side hustle. And the reason for that is, number one, there's great benefits to having a business entity while you have a job, especially when we think about tax write-offs. And then secondly, you're putting yourself in position to make a little more money, right? $500 a month to someone who's barely getting by, that's a lot of money, right? $1,000 a month to someone that's barely getting by could really take care of some extra bills. So I would say do those 2 things first. And then lastly, I would want them to go onto platforms like Etsy or Thinkific and take what's in your mind, right? You have experience, you have knowledge, you have a story, turn it into a digital product and put it on the internet. At $37 a pop, even if 10 people a month buy your product, that's an extra $370 in your pocket with no expenses, right? I think people think it's so much harder than it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, right? They think it's so much harder than it is when really, that's 3 steps right there that could put $300 in your pocket. So that would definitely be the step I would give to someone at the bottom, trying to figure it out. Because that's where I was. I used my stimulus check to start my business, and I created digital products. So if it can work for me, I'm very confident it can work for anyone else too.
That's a really good point right there, though, Ellie, is that you used your stimulus check to start a business where a lot of people went out and bought a TV or they went and bought a couch or bought some clothes or whatever. And you have to have a different mindset when you're thinking in terms of how do I create wealth for myself? It's a different understanding of using money to generate wealth and generate cash flow as opposed to what can I get for me in the short term.
Right.
I talk a lot about that in my financial seminars, trying to get people to understand that there's just a different person you have to become when you automatically think of money and how you can use it for you. Do you have any programs or anything that you help people with that process as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of our programs, we specifically teach new business owners or aspiring business owners how to form the business, how to get funding for it. And then throughout that, we show them how to start making that shift, right? Money is to be used to make more money. Money is to be used to make more money, right? I always tell my community, I know you want the nice bag. I know you want the nice car, and you're going to get it. But instead of you taking your active income and using that to go purchase a liability, let me show you, right? I'm teaching you how to take your active income, put it into an investment that makes you money, and then you use that money to buy the bag, right? You use that money to buy the TV. And then that completely shifts our relationship with money. First, money should serve you, not your favorite store, right? Not your favorite, car dealership. And I love nice things too. But now if I buy something, I first create an asset that makes me the money, and then the asset pays for the liability. So that's
a delayed gratification, which a lot of people can't really wrap their head around. And that I always I think about when you put on a new jacket or shirt or something that's really nice, really new, really nice, you treated yourself, and that feeling of certainty and comfort and the feeling of wealth and value that you have that comes over you that lasts very short. It's a very short period of time with that new thing. If you can create an asset that then drives income back to you, and that asset pays for that thing, you will feel that value all the time. You'll feel that certainty. You'll be overwhelmed with it.
Exactly.
Do you ever have people, and I don't know if you do or not, do you have them, do any, manifestation work or any, thought process work, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. A big part of when I just finished a 5-day challenge, which is something I do a lot in my community. And on day one, right, I always start out with mindset, vision, creating a vision board, really writing down affirmations. And something different that I did this time is I had my students sign a commitment statement. So they wrote this commitment statement that essentially, states, I commit to certain activity every single day so I can make X amount, per day, per year, whatever. And attached to that commitment statement, I had them think about, who are you doing this for, right? A lot of us need to have a stronger why, and that pushes us to not give up. So for me, my why are my kids. For you, your why also might be your family, right? For them, they had a specific person in mind. And so I helped them write that commitment statement and sign it, because we sign when we want to buy a car. We sign when we want to buy a house, right? We sign whenever something is serious, we sign it. So I said, if this money journey is serious to you, if making your business work is serious to you, sign this commitment statement and treat it with the same level of intensity and value that you would treat buying a home, right? And I really believe a lot of people were crying, but I think that's good, because we have to realize that, again, you have to commit to the life that you want, which means becoming a different person in order to have a different result, a different outcome. So manifestation is key, and it's definitely something I want to bring more onto my platform, because I've realized that money and mindset really go hand in hand. Like, you can't have one without the other.
Yep, I agree with you. And what's interesting, I talk about that a lot as well when we talk about imagine money is your friend, and if you can name it anything, but let's just name your friend Ellie. Ellie's my friend, and I invite Ellie to a party, and when Ellie gets there, I go, Ellie, why are you always so late? I'm so frustrated with you, Ellie. You never show up when I need you to show up. Do you think Ellie's going to stay around at that party for you? Do you think she's going to stick around?
Why?
No, Ellie's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
But you showed up and said, Ellie, I know you're late, but I'm so glad you're here. Ellie, it is so much better when you are around me in my life, because I have so much fun, and you're able to give me more options, and you let me see different things that I didn't see before. Thank you, Ellie. I love that you're here. When you have that, it even lights you up, just like, oh, thank you.
I know, it does.
Right. And so those type of statements, that's in a lot of my programs, that's the first step for me as well, is like, watch the words you're saying, because the words you're saying come from the beliefs you have about money. Secondly, you are a unique individual. For anyone that is watching or listening to this, you are a unique individual that has knowledge that other individuals need and will pay for. So don't discount yourself. It is something that is of value.
Absolutely. There's so much to be gained from what you just said. Every single one of us has value. Bless you. It's okay. Every single one of us has value. Every single one of us has skills. Every single one of us has experience. and someone will pay for that. And one thing I do talk about a lot as well is this idea of deservedness. A lot of people struggle with believing that they deserve good things, that they deserve more money, that they deserve, you know, a great life. And I'm not sure where it comes from, but it's rooted in so many people where we think we only deserve the 9 to 5 that we're given. We only deserve, what we have, maybe because we've seen our parents struggle with money or it's just been normalized. But that's one of the first concepts that I tackle is I want you to realize you deserve to be paid more for what you're doing. You deserve to have it, and you can, right? You really can. And I think when people start to get over that hump, step by step, right? This is how you break down those barriers. And like you said, then money hangs out with you a lot more because it's like, I like to be around, Greg, because he's nice to me.
That's right. Yeah.
And there we go.
That's exactly right. And it's such a learned response that people have with the things that, we've all been taught. Money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. A penny saved is a penny earned. Which in reality, if you look at the people that I know that are doing the most positive work, those are the people that generally have the most money. Your time is a limited resource. So if you're doing physical, philanthropic things that are improving the community around you, but you don't have any financial means to put into it, you're just doing the physical stuff, you're limited on the amount of time that you can have. So you either need to get other people around you and use their physical time, or you can donate money and financial resources and other items or things that are available around you in order to improve the outcome of whatever charity organization you're trying to improve. And the people that have the most money have the most leverage to be able to do that. And that's what I try to get through to people's heads. And I'm sure I know you do that as well. So tell me a little bit about any programs or anything you have going on, that how people can reach you, because I want to make sure that if they're interested in learning about money, if they're a female entrepreneur for sure, or if they're just a female and they're, are in a situation, they're like, I'd like to improve my financial situation. Ellie's the person to go to. How can they find you?
I am your girl. So I would love for you guys to connect with me at Ellie Talks Money. And my coaching company, which is specifically for women and moms, is called Mommy to Millionaire. So we specialize in giving moms and women the tools that they need to really change their financial situation. We believe that women should be able to build a business that they love and a life that they love as well. So Ellie Talks Money and Mommy to Millionaire, those are definitely two great places to join and go, come to one of my free classes. I do weekly free classes talking about money, talking about ways to get funding. So that's a really great way to get in the room. And I'm excited to really help you, more of them, right? More of you all make that shift, because again, if I can do it, single mother of 4 at the time, right? $1,200 stimulus check. I always tell women, if I can do it, you can absolutely do it. The way is there. You just have to start the work.
That is so simple, but so true. Most things in life are a lot simpler than people think they are. It's simple. It's just not easy. It's simple in the fact that there's just certain tactics and strategies you need to implement. The hard part is changing who you actually are and improving your mindset around it. And the hard part is giving up things that you have come to know as, the things that you think that you believe you are, and so that's the hard part. The easy part, or the simple part, is, hey, if you do these simple things, you will get this reward or this outcome. So learn from somebody who's already been there. Make sure you follow Ellie. I've got all the links right here on this podcast. You can click all of her links, find out where she's at on her website. You can also go to her social media sites as well. I do love your website, Ellie. It's really, really cool. And you can buy some of her products. She's got a whole shop. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, some really cool stuff. Yes, I'm really excited to connect, and I'm really glad that you had me on here. I just want everyone who's listening to know that, again, it's all possible. Discipline, doing the same things over and over again is really what will set you free. And you'll find that, life really is as beautiful as you decide to make it, right? And it's completely up to you. The circumstances that we're born in are just what we're born into, but they don't determine where we end up. You know, we have those abilities to make different decisions. I heard this quote, Greg, that really just, it blew my mind, and it's probably going to be good for you to hear too. But what it said is, you know, we're born looking like our dads, but we die looking like our decisions.
Very good. Very good. That is an amazing quote and a mic drop moment to end.
It is, right?
Episode. Yes. Well, Ellie, once again, thank you for being on the Fix Your Belief Systems podcast. Really appreciate it. Everyone should look you up. I'm telling you, click the links, learn, get some experience. You will find somebody that knows more about the situation that you have going on that you need to get figured out. You just have to take the action. Nothing happens until you click the link and actually move on to the next step, which is going to learn from this person. You know, life is short in some ways, but in other ways, it's very long in the fact that you can do the right activities each and every day to move you in the right direction. And the more you do that, the better off you are. So once again, Ellie, thank you for being here. This has been another episode of Fix Your Belief Systems, where we talk about the 5 major pillars of life: relationships, business and career, health, fitness, our health, finance, or money, and faith or belief. And really appreciate you once again. Some really great insight around money. And I look forward to sharing your message across, I don't know, as many social media sites and as much as I can possibly do. Talk soon, Ellie. Thanks for being on. Until next time, Dr. Greg Persley, also known as Dr. G, where we help you build the life you dream of under your terms.